Rabiu Ibrahim on Saturday. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the proposed minimum wage would result in an annual expenditure of 9.5 trillion naira, a burden he described as untenable for the nation's finances. That is, if they left it at 494,000 naira, right? Now, despite the intervention of the leadership of the National Assembly, Labour embarked on an indefinite strike on Monday, a development that grounded economic activities nationwide. By the way, some people are lamenting the shutting down of the national grid. Anyways, I'd like to get your thoughts on that. I think that's the farthest I can go reading that article, because I've got to look at my next big story. But before I do that, looking at the Vanguard newspaper, you can go read this article with the headline. The headline says minimum wage give cost to government today. Tinubu orders finance minister. The president to say, hey, I need to know how much it will cost so we can meet labor at what their demands are, so that we can just get down to business and do away with all the strike and all the tension and all, because if they shut down the economy, it's going to be worse. I believe that's what the president is trying to say and trying to avoid. The president yesterday gave marching orders to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, to prepare the cost implications of a new minimum wage and present an affordable, sustainable and realistic figure today. So by the end of tomorrow, latest tomorrow morning, we should be getting the figures, understanding the figures and knowing the figures. But anyways, you can start dropping your messages. I'm now going to go to my next big story. Sell crude oil to Dangote. President Tinubu orders IOCs. Yesterday, you and I, we talked about it, that Dangote was lamenting that IOCs are not selling crude oil to him because they prefer exporting for foreign exchange, and it's more profitable for them. They're looking at profits, as of course private entities should do. And he was lamenting, and I remember asking the question, what would then happen to our own state-owned refineries, local refineries? What will happen to them? Because if Dangote, that is a business, private business, cannot negotiate with IOCs to get crude, I wonder what is the fate of the maybe that's why the local refineries are not working. However, I woke up this morning to see the report on the Punch newspaper. Sell crude to Dangote refinery, FG directs IOCs. Now, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commissioner said it would mandate, underline that, it would mandate international oil companies to supply crude oil to Dangote oil refinery. Now, the spokesperson for the NUPRC, Olaide Shonola, said the commission was intervening to ensure the local sale of crude to Dangote and other refineries in the country. Shonola stated this while reacting to a claim by the chairman of the Dangote Group that the international oil companies were not ready to sell crude to the refinery. Now, in an interview with The Punch on Tuesday, Shonola said the NUPRC would mandate the IOCs to sell, and with clear directives that this must be done. We have been intervening. I'm sure you're aware of a recent meeting that was held with them on domestic crude oil supply. We will keep engaging them. NUPRC has been doing that. I can say we will force them. Okay, he said, I can't say we will force them, but as the regulator, we can mandate. And that's what we are doing, giving clear directives that this must be done. We will just keep on engaging, and you will agree with me that most of these things have to be planned. We will keep on engaging. We will do our regulatory function in that area, she stated. Asked whether there would be sanctions, Shinola declined comments. Now, I don't know. See, I do have a commercial break, I want to believe, but I also have something that I want to say about this. But anyways, when I come back from the commercial break, I will talk some more. Please to stay tuned. His Excellency directed or has directed that IOCs, international oil companies, should sell crude oil. Now, not necessarily the president, but I mean the NUPRC, right? And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this directive, and I'm wondering, do you know that we have directives to the oil companies not to flare gas? I mean, that directive, I mean, there's even a law, and fines are being meted out to these companies. But hey, guess what? We still flare gas. Yeah, we still flare gas. And I'm wondering if we do have hope. If this is all that the federal government can do, maybe we should even change the headline to federal government directs. I think I made a mistake there. But yeah, the point is, my goodness, if all we can do is tell them, oh, you must sell or keep a portion for domestic usage, we would pay you. If that's all that they can do, I don't know. I do think we're in some kind of trouble, because Dangote made it very clear, and it's not that I'm taking sides with Dangote, but I mean, he made it very clear, he gave an insight. You know, when things don't favor the high and mighty in society, like for instance, when politicians are fighting, we get to see the true nature of things. You know, when they are not fighting, they tell us all is well, that this is all that we know, all that they can do and all they have. But when they're fighting, the truth emanates, the truth manifests, right? And when Dangote is talking, I'm seeing some level of truth, because I mean, he's out there to make profits, and he's trying to make profit, but he's not getting it the way he wants it. And so he comes out and he says, hey, see, they are refusing to sell to me. They don't want to sell to me because they make bigger profits outside. And it's not like the government did not know about this, because the government is a shareholder in the oil and gas sector, right? Anyways, if this is all that the federal government can do to mandate them but can't force them, I wonder what that means, by the way, because in that interview on The Punch, the Shonola was saying that all that they can do, that's the NUPRC can do, is to mandate IOCs, but they can't force them to sell or not to sell. Anyways, I'll get your take and your thoughts on that very shortly. But let's quickly look at the last big story, and it has to do with Rivers State, where reports reaching me says that the Rivers State government is sponsoring the pilgrims, Hajj pilgrims from Rivers State, about 47 of them, and I'm wondering if that's what we should be doing with our state money, with our taxpayers' money. So I'm gonna juxtapose this story to another story that I saw on the Punch newspaper this morning. It says 30 governors spent 968.64 billion naira on refreshments orders in 3 months. Now, this report was done by Budget, and these monies were spent on refreshments, sitting allowances, traveling, utilities in the first 3 months of 2024. Yeah, you heard me right. And then I'm wondering, Hajj, pilgrimage. You just had the conversation with Choma Ezewanfor, and you were talking about the price of commodities in the marketplace. And not so long ago, I asked what the governors can do, or what the governors are doing, as it relates to cushioning the effects, the economic effects on the people. Because every one time we say, federal government, but what really are the states and the local governments doing? And it falls back to that question, it falls back to that conversation, and I'm asking it again, because if I wonder if sponsoring Hajj or any other kind of pilgrimage, whether it's the one done by Christians, Muslims, traditionalists, whatever religion, if that is the way to go right now, given our economic situation? I'm just asking. I mean, I've got no bone to chew with anybody, but I'm just asking if that is the way to go, if that is the right thing to do. And it's a sincere question. But I want to get your thoughts. My time is fast spent. 28 minutes to the top of the hour. Remember, you can send VNs, voice notes via WhatsApp or text message format via WhatsApp 0809 0306 But it's time for me to take your calls and take your thoughts as it relates to my big three stories. I mean, I could have added the fact that no Nigerian university made it to top 1,000 universities in the world. I could have talked about that one. I could have talked about the second Niger bridge, why Nigerians will vandalize. I mean, we keep crying that we don't have enough infrastructures, and we vandalize in the one side. Anyways, those did not make it, so I'm going to skip all of that and go straight to the phone lines now. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. I've got Emeka from Owerri. Emeka, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Canada, I'm tired. What is happening in Labour Congress? Is it that, okay, let us assume that allegedly they are set to 600,000 naira. Has that settled their bag of rice they talk of a family with 4 children? Has that settled the bill they paid for NEPA? Has that settled the fuel they buy for 1,900 naira per litre? Has that settled the daily expenditure they incur on daily basis? This is what I tell you, I don't think you're taking labor union serious. The whole talk of labor union, you are talking of civil servants. Even the flight they are being given to, I just tell Nigerians that is what they survive with. If there's no kind of corruption in their various offices, Canada quickly cannot talk with you, see what is going on here. They are doing what they are doing because they don't even survive with that money they collect and concern. That's what it implies. Otherwise, why should they do? Because, are you talking to me?
I'm not talking, I'm listening to you actually. I've been saying.
Why should they be talking of this amount of money? Even if they're giving them $100, that cannot solve the problem. And then justifying the increment on the living, and then I justify all the what is coming in Nigeria today, food and commodities, commodities in the market, problem people are going to Nigeria. I don't know when they give you 100,000 and then yes, okay, we are good to go. People they are not serious, honestly.
All right.
They are not going to go. And you should Dangote. If not go Dangote complain that they don't give him money. You see that our leaders predict and say, or don't know what's going on in the oil sector. Why did they deny that man? Why did they deny Dangote? That is the way that we don't even know this cabal in this country. If you know that Dangote say we even carry book. And credit is not giving order, or maybe president is giving order. Who are we? Who is actually president of this country?
All right.
Who is behind that?
All right. Thank you, Meka. I've got to go. All right, Miriam from Akrika, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Thank you, Kelly B. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm just it's so sad to know that this family that belongs to you and I, they are just doing anything they like with it. So the federal government is no longer in control of the crude oil. They are no longer in control of it, and it's the cabal that are in charge. So is the federal government not part of the cabal? Now, there is something I'm getting again. I heard they mortgage oil, the countries they took loans from. And those countries will be taking food until they are with collecting all their money belongs to them. I don't know how true it is. So I will want the federal government to negotiate with Dangote, Let's do this trade by barter system. Let's not buy crude made. Let the NNPC not buy crude from Dangote. They should give the crude, and let him support the chain equivalent, honestly. If they can do that, I think it will really, because are you going to buy the crude from Dangote with Naira or in dollars? Because clearly it's importing some. So it's going to be seen us in dollars. So this is so wrong. If they can do this by that system, I think it will really, really pay us.
All right.
It's good for us.
All right. Thank you very much.
If I is sponsoring pilgrimage, I think I'm not in support of it.
All right.
Thank you, Chedibu.
Thank you very much. Now, someone just sent in a message. Please help. Please, do you have any fire service number around town area? There is a fire incident on King George's Street close to New Market. So because I can't start looking for the number while I'm on air, I have sent it to the newsroom. The newsroom would help with, the number necessary for reaching out to fire service that can help put out the fire. But keep me posted. To the person who sent in that message, please keep me posted about the fire situation at King George's Street, close to the New Market. I've got JJ. JJ is calling from Port Harcourt Township. JJ, welcome on the show. It's good to have you.
Yeah, Canada, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
First, I want to give an information to those who are doubting why the labor should call off the strike. Negotiations are not done when strikes are on. So now that they are open up, that every day they will be meeting to make sure that everything is trashed out. Yes, I'm not a labor person, so their business have not been my business, but it's just good to let people know this. You cannot be on strike at the same time you're talking. But I want to play the devil's advocate here when it comes to the Dangote matter. I don't believe him.
Okay.
Because I also feel, this is my feeling, I also feel that those things he's been telling us, he wants to go to the U.S. to import fuel. Why not Angola? Why not Niger Republic here? Why all the way to the U.S.?
Because he mentioned Angola. I mean, reading that report yesterday, he mentioned Angola and Nigeria, saying the IOCs as well.
He didn't think of Angola. All he was thinking is just U.S.
But Angola,
I think.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you were saying something.
I was going to
Angola.
say, I think he was insinuating that the IOCs in Angola as well prefer, exportation.
It's the same thing now. If the ones in Nigeria here prefer to export,
okay.
Angola will not export. Is it not the same company, Shell, Chevron, F, and all those ones? It's the same company now.
Okay.
It will even be worse for him. So even the companies in the U.S. too will not even want to sell for him. So what I think they should do, as federal government and as Dangote, they need to reach an agreement of supply. See, Canada, we deceive ourselves too much in this. There are local products, but local that are producing this crude. Where is that right now? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What about 150,000 barrel, right? Warri about 150, Kaduna about 250. All those put together. That's what I'm saying. Those are for the local production. It's just like now. They say, okay, you are the chairman of Nigeria Info Community. And anybody that kill any meat, they bring the head for you. And people are now asking for Ishewu, meat to do Ishewu. You say you don't have. So what happened to the head of cow and head of goat that bring it to you? That is the question. So more that you don't even forbid those meats, your own is not working at all. The meat that they brought now, where is it? Because these refineries are not working, and you're not using them, and you get daily allocation from these people, where do you send them to?
All right, JJ, thank you very much.
As far as I'm concerned, Dangote is not telling us the truth.
All right,
what he's doing is to paint a picture that is going to the U.S., then do round tripping of our own products.
All right, JJ.
That we do here.
All right, JJ, thank you very much. Round tripping, you say. Origi from Obugu. Wow, I missed that one. Well, let's look at some messages. This one says, the Canada I hail thee, talking about the humongous amount of money spent on refreshment by governors in the first 3 months of the year. This is uncalled for, while majority of Nigerians are malnourished and wallowing in abject poverty and severe hunger. These few privileged individuals are squandering public funds and frivolities. It is quite unfortunate. For the River State government sponsoring pilgrims with taxpayers' money, this is the highest form of irresponsibility, because in tenor climes, before government spends a dime, they consider the economic benefit it will have on the economy. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case. It is very, very appalling indeed. Finally, if you want to maintain your sanity, don't think of Nigeria's problem. Just a friendly advice, though, and that's coming from Simply Good goodness from Alakaya. And as from Moji, River State government, the people wasting taxpayers' money to go and develop Saudi Arabia and Israel in the name of pilgrimage. How about the clueless government-built tourist center and rivers communities so that people can bring hard currency here for tourism? How about the sponsored tourism to go to local rivers community and learn about some gods in rivers? Ernest from Oji with that one. Jude is calling from Omuma. Jude, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, Canada. Let me comment on the federal government or NMPCL mandating IOCs to sell crude oil Dangote. Canada, do we know that federal government through NMPCL owns 60% in the oil companies,
okay,
leaving just 40% for IOCs? But let me tell you how it operates. From exploration to completion to production, IOCs pay the cost. And they can only get back their money, what they call swap, at the time of lifting crude oil. Federal government will not pay them all they have spent. So, if IOCs decide to sell to the U.S. company, Angola or anywhere, but don't forget that crude oil has a tag price by OPEC. They are not going to sell above what OPEC or below what OPEC has fixed. So that these people are in business. If they are selling to Dangote and they are not making the profit, or they are not selling Dangote at the fixed price of OPEC, how do you expect them to do that? So let's just talk economically and business area. IOCs, let me ask, what does the federal government do with their own quota? Are they supplying their own quota to the refineries? Or are they supplying their own quota to Dangote or local refineries? Why do we dwell on the IOCs that are there to make this, that are there for business? It may take a long time, but this is the way it works. The little I can explain here. The price is fixed. They can't sell more than that. Let Dangote agree with one particular company, either Chevron, Ajib, or whoever, that can be supplying him, and he's going to pay at the fixed price of crude oil.
All right.
Let him negotiate and don't put Nigerians talking and thinking on what they cannot understand. I don't have all the time, but if you have questions, I can answer.
No, Jude, thank you very much. Jude from Omuma, thank you very much. I've got Eze Ken from Ubumini. Eze Ken, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Good afternoon, Canada. Canada, have you seen that within 48 hours, the president of Nigeria has given an order on how to present or give the template of what the labor is demanding, and now giving another order for IOC to release or start selling crude to Dangote. What is holding him to give a deadline, an ultimatum, to make sure that Port Harcourt refinery must be functional before this week or next week or next month? Do you see it? That these our leaders are intentionally undermining the suffering of the masses in the nation, minding their own business and how they will profit and get their own money for their unborn children and unborn child. Canada, did you see it? We are here shouting, criticizing, talking for development. That means they know all they are doing. Thank you very much.
All right.
All
All right, thank you very much, Ezekiel. Now let's focus on WhatsApp and let's. This one says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Kalada. 100,000 naira is ideal. Both should leave it there." I guess you meant Labour and federal government. But let's take a listen to these voice notes.
About the Labour and the money, it's very unfortunate. You can see them politicians. Nigeria. I don't want to say anybody, but Nigerians, they recruit politicians. Then you can see that extent on this milk watch this time. Nigeria is a wicked. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts there. Okay, let's take a listen to this one now, please. For some reason, my system is slow today.
Good afternoon, Kalada. This 90 billion of it to support pilgrimage is nothing but irrelevant. The school children in university are there. They can't give them free education over there. They want to loan some people. They say 40 billion, they earmark for that. But is it pretty big now? Go to Mecca, go to Jerusalem, go to this one that are now spending 90 billion for. I tire for this government. They are not doing well at all. Pastor Olushola Rotimi in Igwe.
Okay, I did not put a figure. I wonder where you're getting your figures from, because where we read the report from, I didn't get a figure. I just noted 47 persons thereabout were being sponsored by the state government.
Kalada, good afternoon. The time has come for non-workers in Nigeria to organize or form their own union that will fight for their own interests, because it's now obvious that NLC and TUC are fighting for their own workers' interests and not for the interests of Nigerians. So the time has come for non-workers to organize or form a union that will fight for their own interests. Thank God, ability at Yobu. Kalada, good afternoon. The time has come.
Thank God, ability at Yobu. I do think you're getting it wrong. If the federal government agrees to 100,000 naira as minimum wage, what that means is both the private and the public sector will be paid a minimum of 100,000 naira. So it's going to affect both the private and public sector. So I don't think it's just for labor alone. So I do think we should get that one right and get it right well. Anyways, let's take another message. And this one says 100,000 naira, I believe, is not yet enough considering the cost of things in the general market. Fidelis Elemua from Chokocho Eche. Okay, let's see. This one. This one says, right, our leaders are very cruel and they are just there for the money. Good luck from Igwe Eche says. And this one says, Kalada, our political leaders and their cohorts are different or indifferent, unsympathetic to the yearnings and aspirations of the people. The fatal inflation, persistent rise in price does not affect them, and it does not mean anything towards the system now. This one says, President Tinubu directs Finance Minister to send wage bill as Labour considers 100,000 naira minimum wage. They are still considering when we are even thinking it is going to be pegged at 150,000 naira in my country. Sell crude to Dangote. President Tinubu orders IOCs jokers one and all. Newton Ikira. Okay, River State government sponsors Hajj pilgrims. Lord have mercy. Newton Ikira with that one. Okay. This one says, okay, not for me. Good evening. Kalada, suspending the strike action was the worst mistake Labour had made, because the federal government would never pay this 100,000 naira benchmark Labour is looking at. And when that amount is not met, can Labour go back to strike? Is the $1 million question we need to ask Labour. Kelvin Iyobu Frank. All right, Kelvin Iyobu Frank, thank you very much. This one says, Government sponsoring Hajj is a misplaced priority. I retired in June 2015. Up till now, my gratuity and pension arrears have not been paid. And this one says, I hope this message finds you well. My name is I would look at this in a bit. Just give me a minute or two. Okay, so keep your messages coming in. This one, it says, the increment in minimum wage will definitely create inflation in the land. Fidelis Elemua. I've got a commercial in a jiffy, so I'm just going to go to Facebook. Oh my, the systems all around are just cramping my style, I should say. Ikboyi Kankildwaka says, the so-called labor making noise, how much are they paying their house helps and security staff? Sunday, thank God. Akandu says, good afternoon to you, man of the people. Reacting to your big story on minimum wage, federal government has the capacity to pay even more than 100,000 naira. Let federal government implement labor demands. Labor is the engine that produces the money government is enjoying. And then you said, but my problem lies with some states, especially states in the north and east as well as west. Many of them don't have financial muscle to pay the 100,000 naira. That is the truth. Even the 30,000 many states are yet to implement. Talk of pain. God will help us. Sunday, Tango Akandu from Abaraiche, Rivers State. And George Prince says, after Dangote refinery had been commissioned and now the federal government are directing IOCs to sell crude oil to Dangote, my question is, who IOC? Who has the IOC been selling Nigeria's crude oil to? Failed, you said. Okay. All right. But remember, it's a private business. Who they sell to may not necessarily be our business. Anyways, we'll go for a quick commercial. When we come back, I'll take some more calls. So stay tuned.
You're tuned to your number one talk station, Nigeria Info. Welcome back to the show.